My name is Peter Urbane. I went into the Army, I believe, in 1942. The reasons for that is one evening I came in a little late, and my father came in after me and he slapped me. And stupid me punched my father. And then he punched me quite a few times. And the next morning I went to an Army, well, what would you call them? Army base, and I joined the Army. We got on the boats, and we had 5 or 6 foot waves. It was there, and we were going there, and it was awful rough. And we finally got to France, and the tide didn't come in, and the boats were getting stuck. They were getting stuck in the mud, and about that time, the Germans came over, and they did a little bombing and strafing, and we were lucky we didn't get hit. They built, they pushed the Germans back some, and for the GIs they built probably a tent as big as this house for movies. And I didn't go because the picture they were shown was, I saw it in the States and I didn't want to go. The Germans were close enough. And they killed most of them. Oh, they just really pounded them. And what are you going to do? You know, they made the tent too close to the Germans, and they just wiped. Now, they didn't kill them all, but they killed an awful lot. You know, and so many of those crazy things happen. You know, and we were all rookies. You know, after you're there for a year, you're a different person. You're a much different person. You know, and a better person. Believe me. And we fight for each other, you know. That's just the way it's got to be, you know. And the first sergeant didn't like me because we had these trucks and they had these bows up there, and I reached for something and my helmet came down and hit him in the head. So we got there, and he called me. He said, "Pete," he said, "you're number one." We protected that area, you know. And they told me, they said that you better be careful because it was said that some Germans got loose, so you be careful. Well, how can you be careful when you're shaking like this? I'll tell you, I was never so afraid in my life. I was just like a statue. I didn't make a noise or anything else. And I always said, Lord, come on, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. And then from there, we went up to St. Lo. And St. Lo was a small farm town. And the Germans wanted it, and we wanted it. And I think they fought for it 3 times. I think it was the Americans, the Germans, and the Americans. When we went through that town, there wasn't a building standing. It was just demolished, and all the poor people had no place to live or anything else. War is a dreadful thing. I mean, it's just something that should never. If there is a God, He should stop it.